She's like a boomerang. We can't get rid of her. She's back up here again. It is time for Film Focus with Emily Cook from Real Vision. How are you, birthday girl?
Oh, yes. It is my birthday soon.
Yeah, how are you? Are you good?
I'm very well.
Happy birthday from everyone at Manx Radio.
Ah, that's nice. Thank you, Ash.
What's been happening at Real Vision this week then, Em?
Well, the last 2 weeks, actually, I've been working with the TV presenter Garry Lavin, who's actually our special guest this week. And we've been creating the show reel from scratch. It's taken about 3 days in conception and then a few days shooting. And we got up to some very funny antics while doing that. I ended up in the field with a bull. We ended up throwing a dead chicken around and a lawnmower flying off the back of a Land Rover. So it was a very entertaining shoot. But yes, he's going to join us this week. Garry Lavin, a man with limitless strings to his bow. But today we're going to be focusing on his particular string as a TV presenter. Thanks for coming in. Can you tell us a bit about who you are and what you do?
I can. I suppose I'm a designer and vehicle builder and all-round innovator. My bio describes me as artist, designer, engineer, raconteur. So I suppose I'll put those together. It's great for telly.
In the past, you have had your own TV series. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, and why not? Because it was on BBC Two. It was on about 9 years ago. It was called Every Home Should Have One. It was all about all your gizmos in the home, tellies, washing machines, who invented them, how they worked. And my approach was radically different. I was cutting things up and drawing on the TV camera lens to show you how things worked. And everybody else has picked that up since, but I'm not bitter, and it's become a bit of a standard for telly. But telly being what it is, telly moves on and finds different faces. So I've sort of done bits and pieces since,
In order to keep you in the public eye, what we've been doing recently, Garry, it's very interesting, isn't it? We've been creating a show reel for you at Real Vision.
We have, and it's been great. And
because the idea was that we'd show you doing a different kind of presenting to the kind that you did 9 years ago, giving a more conversational style.
Which is the way now. I mean, before I had, having been a university and college lecturer, I suppose the old style was to speak direct to camera and instruct people. But now the fashion, and it is a fashion, is to be conversational. And it's better for me because I'm just like now I'm just telling you natural stories. And I feel what we did the other day was absolutely fantastic, really. It's the best thing I've done. I mean, the whole idea with my agent said that, and I got an agent because I appeared from the Isle of Man as a presenter for the One Show. I did a feature on the space race in the Isle of Man. And so I got an agent out of that, and she said, do a new show reel, stuff you do involving your lad and his chickens that he rears and sells, and your mechanics and your engines and your design and your eco building. We've got all these things going on, but to the outside observer, it just looks like a tip. But you came round and we wandered from thing to thing and project to project, and we finished up at my lad's hen pens, and he's just a little entrepreneur. He makes money out of these hens, but one had been killed by Isle of Man's own mongooses, these damn polecats. And,
it was hilarious.
It was hilarious, and it's covered in flies. And I got hold of it and said, "Look, this is what it's all about in the Isle of Man," and flung it as you do, so the local longtails, or as I like to call them, rats and vermin, will eat it. But on screen, it's a fantastic image. It looks great, and it's one of those punchlines. You got to have punchlines.
But something really funny happened when Garry threw this chicken. When he threw it, the air out of the lungs, even though it was dead, moved the voice box. So actually, when it flew off, it went, "Ah!"
Yeah, but it was dead. Maybe it was haunted. Maybe it was. It was Halloween nearly, wasn't it?
It was
spooky.
And that show reel that we did has generated you some work already, potentially.
Well, I think so. I mean, I hesitate to tell you. I mean, it's supposed to be a series of short scientific type programs, but light-hearted, the sort of experiments you could do at home. And I've just found out I'm not supposed to tell you just yet in case somebody else actually gets the gig and not me. But it seems to be pretty close. But instant telly is what I do. I'll just...
Oh, that's incredible. No, with Garry, it is actually incredible. You basically turn on a camera and all of a sudden a programme is created just by putting him in front of a camera. It's like magic.
It is like magic, even though I'd like to say so myself. If I don't damn well tell you, who will? So thanks.
I will.
Oh my God.
Can we also just quiz you. What's your one piece of advice you would want to give to people interested in a career in TV presenting?
Yeah, well, there seems to be 4 routes. I mean, it's a magical thing. Nobody believes anything's real unless it's been on TV. So everybody wants to be on TV. And I think everybody's been on TV now, but there are like 4 main routes, really. If you look at people on TV now. There's one is especially with the BBC journalism, which tends to be Oxbridge type people who seem to be on every BBC major programme, and that's actually having that inquiry and that sort of stuff. And then the next one will be like Julia Bradbury on Countryfile, who's a drama graduate, and she happened to get that kind of gig on a country programme, and now is seen as a country she's sort of carved herself a niche as a country expert. And when in actual fact, she's very good at, she's been taught to present. That's what she does. That's a trade. And then there's another bunch of people who are from a show business background, from a different angle. You know, there's that whole celebrity culture. And then there's people like me, I suppose, who have something that's is a particular life experience and personality to offer, which isn't necessarily a programmable thing. You just are who you are, what they do, the knowledge, what they bring to telly that nobody else can bring. And I suppose I was one of those, like Fred Dibnah, Guy Martin, and 1 or 2 other characters, and 1 or 2 other food people like Jamie Oliver. And that's a different route. So there's 4 routes there, and I suppose the easiest programmable ones are journalism and drama college, but they're also quite risky.
Well, Garry, thank you for joining us today.
No, it's been great.
And I really hope you all the success in the future with your TV career.
Cheers. And it's all down to you, Emily, with that showreels. Absolutely. And I must say that Emily's work is absolutely fantastic, and it does make a difference. And the editing's good. The camera work has been commented on as being brilliant. Now, if anybody's listening, though, I do a little bit of jazz singing, and I need a piano player for some gigs in the Isle of Man up to Christmas. So I need somebody that can practice with and then do a couple of these live events with me for charity. So if you're out there, get in touch.
As you'll probably testify, Emily, there's always loads going on the Isle of Man film-wise.
Absolutely.
Ever-changing. But tell us about what's been going on at the minute, because it literally changes so quickly from week to week, doesn't it? There's new projects and new ventures being conceived all the time.
Yes, there's so much going on over here. Filmmakers Dave Armstrong and Christy DeHaven are actually, this week, they've been in London at the Saatchi Gallery showing their film The Watchmaker's Apprentice. That's about the island-based master watchmaker, the late George Daniels, and his apprentice Roger Smith. So they've been at an incredibly prestigious event showing their film, and they've actually been allowed to record some of the stuff taking place. So the Isle of Man filmmakers, whoever they may be, are actually doing very exciting things off-island.
And how was it received by the audience in London?
Well, I've looked at their Facebook page, and there seem to be some very interesting comments and pictures up there. So you can find out what they're actually doing if you type in DAM Productions, DAM Productions. I've seen the trailer for The Watchmaker's Apprentice, and it's absolutely beautifully shot. And that's, again, available on their Facebook page.
Exciting stuff. We'll go and we'll have a skeet. Now, each week we do like to find out what's going on at the cinema, because let's face it, when we're talking film, we want to see the final product, us non-filmmakers, if you like. So if we fancied a trip to the cinema this week, what should we be watching?
Well, this week my one to watch is something a bit different. It's Saturday Night Fever, starring John Travolta, at the Peel Centenary Centre, part of the Films in Peel season, on the 14th of November at 7:45pm. They have some great films down there, which is the perfect opportunity for people to see some classics actually on the big screen.
I was going to say, it's all the rage, wasn't it? Ghostbusters was on a couple of weeks ago. It's nice to be able to revisit those films on the big screen, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Because
yes.
we can all watch online and we can watch DVDs and that sort of stuff, but it's nice to go and have the cinema experience. That's what it's all about, isn't it?
It is, yes. Films in Peel, they do offer this fantastic opportunity, and they've been going since November 2008, and they're providing a cinema in the west of the island. Since 2008, it's gone from strength to strength, and it runs 2 programme seasons a year, from January to May, and then from September to December. And it's entirely independent and run by volunteers, so it's a fantastic thing. And if people actually want to get involved in supporting it, they can look up on Facebook Films in Peel or go to the Peel Centenary website.
I didn't actually know that they used it as a cinema over there, though.
It's a great venue, actually. It's a nice atmosphere in there. You get a feeling that these people are actually far more passionate about films, and it kind of harks back to how it used to be, where every town would have a cinema. I mean, Ramsey had a cinema, and Peel had one back then as well, and town halls were used to show films back in the early days.
So it's got that real authentic feel to it.
Definitely one to go and see. So that's on the 14th of November at 7:45 p.m.
Looking forward to it, and I love Saturday Night Fever as well, and I love John Travolta back in those days.
Yes, he's a bit of a beefcake now. Is that the right? I don't know.
Are we allowed to say that? I think that's brilliant. We're keeping it. Anyway, moving on. Like we were talking to Garry earlier, your trade is video, and you've been working really hard on his show reel. We'll put a link to that on our Saturday Night Live Facebook page because, yes, okay, it's beautifully shot. You have to meet Garry because he is an absolute character, and I'm sure you got that from the chat with him earlier on. But you come up and you help us film our sessions, which we do. We've got a few more in the pipeline. Looking forward to getting around to filming and recording those. But looking back, tell us about another of your favourite tracks that we've recorded.
Looking back, I would have to say that it would be Clara Barker's cover she did of Lana Del Rey's Video Games. Such a beautiful song, and she did it really sensitively, and actually on the video she's got a really cheeky grin as she sings it. I don't know how well that comes across in the song, but on the video, yeah, it's really nice.
We'll repost that, so head over to our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Saturday Night Live, and we'll hear the track again. This is the gorgeous, the delectable Clara Barker and her version of Lana Del Rey's Video Games.